Alright, so I've made more of the color, and I'm using the warm yellow, the cool red, magenta, and the cool blue. And I added a bit of cool blue here and mixed it with my orangey red to see what I would get. And I think it's making a pretty decent dark color. It's a bit purpley, a little bit purpley, but I'm going to use just a touch of this with my reddish orange, and I may need a little bit more yellow into this, but I think I'm going to just see what happens here. Okay, so now I'm also going to make a lighter version. So I've got my color, I've got my complement mixed with the color. So since I made an orange, I used blue, even though it's a reddish orange. So this technically bluish green, but I'm going to start with the blue and see if I might need to add a little more yellow to do the green. And then I'm going to make a tint. Okay, so I've got this, and I'll be having a tint over here. Now, I don't want the tint and the shadow color to mix. Okay, this is just light to medium to dark, but the light and dark do not go together. This is just going to make gray, and it kind of cancels out the color, and I don't want that. So, alright, back to my flat brush, and let me look at my sketch, and it looks like dark is going to go right over here. So let me do that. So I like to start out, let me get rid of that white there. Start out with a little bit of the original color, because I'm going to blend. I'm going to do some blending. So this is called a wet into wet technique, because I'm having this paint is wet, and I'm going to take another color. Now let me blend these two together a bit. I feel like I need a little bit darker. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. And I want to fade it out. So I'm making it a bit darker, and then I can go back to the original color and blend it out. Now looks a little streaky. I don't like that. So I'm going to need to lay this down, let it dry, and go back into it. And it's just this paint. If I go over it with a really light touch, try to like smooth that out. Alright, so now let's see. Now dark in this corner. So let's try without the paint down first. So this is dry blend. Oh, that's better. I like that much better. Yeah, that works better for sure. Not as much smushing around there. So the more I push this around, though, the it starts to dry and get blotchy, so I can't really do that, but I end up doing it anyway. Alright, I'm going to blend it out with the original color. And later I can go, like after I paint my form, I can go back and do touch-ups on the background. Because this is going to, you know, come in layers. Like we're going to have to do a few layers to really get this to where you're going to want it to be. Alright, so now I'm on this corner. It's a lot easier, like if you don't have super dark color, you can always add, you know, make it a little bit darker. Sometimes it's hard to lighten it up again because the paint it doesn't cover over as well. So I'm just grabbing the original color and blending it out, edging it towards the original color. This is kind of like dabbing at it. Alright, cool. Now, let's get into some of the lighter areas. Of the background. It looks like it's gonna be light right over here. So let me dry my brush off. And same thing with the light color. Oh darn, I think I got some of that blue in there. But if I start in a medium, like range of value, I can always get it a bit lighter, like as I layer it. So even still, I'll probably let it get lighter and lighter. But for now, I'm going to say this is pretty good. And it's got to be light in the middle here because that's where I have a lot of shadows. And where else can I make it lighter? I guess I could do it lighter. Let me see what goes on. I could do it lighter over here. Oops. And back to the original. You can blend this together. And even if it does look like streaky right now, I'm in the beginning stages of the painting, so it's going to, you know, get more layers. And as you do more layers, the better it starts to look. Paint gets, you know, more thicker and the color gets stronger, because right now it's super streaky, like you can still see through a bit. So as time goes on, it's one of those things that needs to just be like layered and developed. It doesn't come together really fast. but this is good for a start. And then I'll start painting the form, and then I'll go back and see where I can add to this background situation. But since I have the paint out, I'm going to add another layer. Let's see, I've got white on my brush. I'm just going to lay that down with a lighter color. Rinse my brush. Really good. Dry it off. And go back and fill in. See how the layering, it's dark underneath, but it's dried, because this paint dries pretty quickly, but because it's so transparent, even if I go over it, just smooths it out a bit. Hatching. And go right over it, just the regular color. Look at that. Still looks dark. Just starts to smooth it out. Where else? Now in the lighter area, it ends up covering, so it's not the same as in the darker area. So these are soft edge, you know, we're doing soft edge, like smooth blending. So it's a soft edge going dark to light. Like all this soft edge right there. That's what we're going for. Alright. I think that is good for now. And now I'm ready to go on to doing the actual form. Alright.